Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 239. I am your host, Travis. I want to thank you all for tuning in here. And today we are going to wrap up round one of the 2023 Pro Motocross Championship here. I got a couple other things to kind of touch on here. Got a Holster Co reload rant. I have a TLR tinfoil hat. And and then we've got our West Coast contributor, Isaac Gonzalez, coming on at the end of the show to kind of talk about his weekend. He actually had a press credential for the Fox Raceway National, and he got to go to the season opener press day there and everything. So we call him up and we kind of talk to him about that. Before we jump into it, obviously I'm solo in studio here, as you can see by the camera that's only facing me. I don't have anybody here. It's a holiday weekend here. It's Memorial Day. Cole, again, is Supercross only, and Justin is on a lake somewhere? I'm not sure. But anyway, so needless to say, solo in studio here, wrapping it up. So probably be a little shorter show than normal, but that's okay. I got actually a chance to watch the race, pretty like the entire thing. It was pretty easy for me. I've still got my bum foot right now, broken ankle, no surgery, so we're all good on that. It's just a waiting game, but doesn't allow me to do a lot outside when the weather's nice. So, stuck inside all weekend, handled that. Before we jump into the show here, though, just want to thank the sponsors. So, first off, show presented by Complete Racing Solutions. Make sure to check them out, CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Coach Rob can scientifically help you both on and off the bike. As I said before, he sent me over some stuff for rehabbing my ankle here. So we've been doing what we can there as far as some diet stuff. And like I said, a lot of it's just a waiting game at this point, but I have been trying to eat some foods and some supplements that will help promote bone growth. So, been working on that. Sorry, allergies. Also presenting the show, TLR Coatings, Michigan's #1 custom powder coating shop. If you have a project you're working on that needs some powder coating, make sure to check them out, TLRcoatings.com, or we might make it through this, or on all the major social media networks at TLR Coatings. They can coat anything the right way, so make sure to check them out. Yep, this is raw. This is what happens here on the show. So anyway, also on board with us, like I said, we got Holster Co. We got a Holster Co reload rant coming up. We got Worx bringing you our 450 race recap. We have Adept Creative Co bringing you our 250 race recap. We have Isaac Nelson Designs bringing you our interview with Isaac Gonzalez here. And then we have Edgewood Farms for all our CBD needs. Links in the description down below, so make sure to check them out. Also, it's down below the video here. If you're on YouTube, you can see it. We have a new Kawasaki Racing inspired Moto Aftermath t-shirt. I was looking to see if I had mine on, but anyway, it is our summer outdoor 2023 tour shirt. We're going to be at a couple rounds. I'm going to be at least Ironman and Redbud at this point, and probably be at the Chicago for the Super Motocross. But anyway, that is now live up there on Teespring, so make sure to go check that out. Teespring.com/Moto Aftermath Show will get you to our store, and there's a couple different designs. There's a white one, a white shirt, and a black shirt, so, for whatever you want. They all have all the logos on them there, so check those out, buy them. Also, Amazon links in the description down below, which will help us out. So, lots of ways to help us. So let's without any further ado here, let's jump in. Your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx, always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. And we're just going to start off with the generational talent he is, Jet Lawrence. Now, I will say, what happened yesterday with Jet going 1-1 did not surprise me at all. #1, Fox Raceway. He's really good there. He's now 6-0. He's won 5 straight 250 races there. He has won now his first 450 race there. Does not surprise me at all. First moto, he gets out front, and he just kind of managed. He got to about a 10-second lead, and he basically just managed it. I don't know what was going on with Chase that first moto. He didn't seem to have anything for Jet per se, and he kind of got not the greatest of starts, had to work through the couple guys that were there. And needless to say, just couldn't even get close to him. And I think maybe the crash in practice might have had a little something to do with that too. That was a pretty good lick he took. But anyway, the second moto was a lot of what I expect to see most of this season. Kind of like Tomac and Chase did last year, where they just battled each other and ran away. I expect to see a lot of the same out of Jet and Chase. And I mean, they did. They beat Ferrandis by 44 seconds, which is insane. I mean, Jet was sitting under the tent, helmet off, debriefing by the time Ferrandis crossed the finish line. Absolutely gnarly. And Chase made a few attempts at Jet there during that race, but there really wasn't a whole bunch of places to pass, and he just didn't have anything for him. Jet made a couple of small mistakes. Nothing really to write home about, though, and it was just Jet's day. I'm gonna tone down my hard on for Jet here because I do not think this is gonna be every single race this summer. As far as him going 1-1, but you got to admit, he's now run 450 motos, and he's won 3 of them. It's not a good look for everybody else. I do think Chase will have something for him, though, moving forward, though. Like I said, I think you get Chase on a day where he doesn't hit the deck that hard in practice or whatever. I think you're going to see a lot closer racing. So, and like I said with Chase, practice crash, 2-2. Didn't look good the first moto. Second moto, he stayed right with Jet. He had everything Jet wanted and more. Just couldn't quite get by him. But this will happen. Like I said, I see a lot of this happening over the summer here, of these two trading back and forth motos, because next, it'll be Chase getting starts and Jet trying to pass him. The one thing I have to say, though, is, man, even that second moto, and they mentioned this on the broadcast, Jet does not look like he's trying. And like, as fast as he's going, if he doesn't look like he's trying and he's going that fast, if he's actually trying, I don't know what that means for everybody else. You have to look at practice. Practice was the one spot that raised my eyebrows. The last lap of practice, when no one was going faster in that second qualifying practice there, when no one was going faster, Jet went 2 seconds faster than everybody. I mean, that lap was insane. That one made me go, whoa. So we'll see going forward. Again, Fox Raceway is kind of an enigma. He's very, very good there. So we'll see going forward. And like I said, I think Chase will stay with him and win motos and everything else. Talking about, let's move on to third place here with Dylan, because he went 3-3. Math was super easy for like the first 3 there. So he goes 3-3 for third overall. I do think that if Dylan stays healthy here, once we get to about halfway through the season, you're going to see Dylan be able to kind of stay with those guys more so than yesterday. They made it very apparent throughout the broadcast. He has not been on the bike that much. So that injury, that concussion he had during Supercross really took it out of him. And so he's only been on the bike a couple of weeks. So I think for the first round, that was good. But I think you're going to see a lot of this. He might be just like the third best guy and maybe getting challenged by Webb too. Him and Webb are basically building the same, because Webb was also hurt a little bit later, but also hurt. And so I think they're going to ride themselves into shape here. I do believe that Dylan's going to be better by the end of the year because Dylan wants it more. Coop doesn't care about outdoors. So I do think you'll see Dylan get up there in the mix once we get past about halfway, maybe about the time we get to Redbud, because I think Redbud's about round 5. He might be able to get up in there, but I mean, it's one of those things. You can't lose the title the first day, or you can't win it, but you can lose it, and definitely didn't lose it there. He's in the mix, okay? Basically, all of the top 6 are in the mix at this point. AP 4th. I feel bad for AP. He rode his balls off to get that 4th. He should have been on the box. He was dogging Dylan, and a couple crashes in that first moto. It just wasn't his day. But realistically, these top 6, this is kind of what I see going forward here until other guys start to come back. But that was a good ride for Aaron. He was pushing the pace yesterday. But again, he is a tick off of what Chase and Jet can do. So this is kind of where I see him topping out as 4th, maybe a 3rd here and there, but pretty much 4th. Webb gets 5th with a 4.5, and he rode okay yesterday. Starts were good. He hasn't had a lot of time on the bike, so I didn't really expect much out of him. I kind of expected him in this top 6 here. So we'll just see how it works going forward. AC, it was 6th with a 6.7. That was an okay ride for him. Again, not losing title chances per se in the first one, but not really. He didn't lose it, but he he's not in a good spot. I think moving forward, I was listening to his podcast the other day, and he was talking about the stem cells, and they say the stem cells usually take between like 6 to 12 weeks to set in. He took stem cells 1 week, rode the next week. So he has more stem cells banked at the place he went and had it done in Kansas. He's going back after the season to get more stem cells put into his arm there. I'll be interested to hear some stuff come out this week as to how his arm felt, whether it was an arm situation or it's just that he hasn't really rode a whole bunch of outdoors situation, whatever's going on there. I'll be interested to hear it. So, like I said, AC 6-7 on the day for 6. And now we're going to kind of get into Privateer Island here. So Grant Harlan, 9-6 for 7th overall. That was a really good ride. Jose Butron, he is from Spain. He is a GP rider. He comes in, goes 10-8 for 8th, so that was good for him. Lorenzo Lacrucio, he goes 7-11 for 9. Freddie Noren goes 13-9 for 10th. I don't have a lot on any of these guys here because this is kind of what we were expected to see, is a bunch of these guys getting really, really good finishes here. Jerry Robin had a really good day. He was running inside the top 10 a lot of the day, goes 8-14 for 11th. Chiz shows up just because Chiz has to race everywhere. He goes 12-13 for 12. Dante Oliveira, I believe he's the off-road guy for KTM. He goes 15-12 for 13th, so that's good. Ryan Surratt, who's an off-road guy now, he goes 11-17 for 14th. Derek Drake making his 450 debut. This is actually really good for him. He goes 37-10 for 15th. I don't know what happened that first moto. He must have went down, but getting 15th overall and 10th in the second moto, that's pretty good. We'll have to keep an eye on him going forward. Caden Amarine goes 14-20 for 16th. Marshall Welton, 31-15 for 17th. Luca Marsalisi, 18-18 for 18th. Romain Pape? I don't know, he's French. 23-16 for 19th. And RJ Wageman, 16-33 for 20th. Shout out to Michigan's own Jace Kessler and Chris Prebula going 21 and 22 overall. Let's see here. Also, Michigan's Jeff Walker, 27th overall. Let's see here. I don't really see anybody else. So comment down below if there was anyone else that you guys were keeping an eye on, say for fantasy purposes or whatever. But yeah, as far as I said, that's pretty much what I see the 450 class being, is there's not going to be a lot of interesting stuff happening other than watching Jet and Chase battle all summer. So that, for what I have to say, is your 450 race recap from presented by Gutter Worx, always well hung like Justin Barsha. All right, before we jump into the 250 class, which is realistically the more interesting class, few things to go over here. So we'll get into our TLR tinfoil hat segment here, and I had a source reach out this week to talk to me about the whole Ducati thing. So I'm quite impressed here that the web going to Ducati thing has traveled as far as it has, okay? That was a simple conversation between me and Coach Rob that I really didn't have a whole bunch of information. I then reached out to Jace at Gypsy Tales. He didn't know anything. I told him the info that I had, which was Rob had heard that Ducati was going after Webb. After that all happened, I heard through the grapevine that Ducati had bought the rights to the 2021 KTM 450 model, which would then make sense. We're trying, when you talk TLR tinfoil hat here, we're going to string everything together going down the rabbit hole here. So why would Ducati go after Webb? Well, they're going to go after Webb because they have their bike, from what I understand, is going to be based off of the 2021 KTM 450. What happened with the 2021 KTM 450? Webb won the Supercross title on that thing and was really, really good on it. So that would make sense then why they were going after Webb. Now, my source reached out to me this week here. I cannot name him, and I won't name him, so don't ask me. He's out there. He knows who he is, but he has friends in World Superbike? I think it was World Superbike. And friends with the Ducati squad over there, and they said that Ducati is coming out with a 450 dirt bike. It is in development right now, but it will not debut until 2025. So we weren't super far off here on our predictions. We just were off by, say, a year. So supposedly, through the grapevine here, Ducati is developing a 450 motorcycle. It will come out supposedly in 2025. They're also going to debut a team in 2025. From what I still understand, 450 team. So that's cool. But it's really awesome to know that we're not far off. Like I said, when the source reached out, he's like, hey, saw your stuff. And like I said, it's funny to me the reach that got, because through me texting Jace and then Jace talking about what he was talking about, our video blew up, and then boom, all of a sudden, I mean, I'm getting articles sent to me. So it's really funny that like my conversation with Coach Rob went as far as it did. It's cool to see the reach happen. So thank you everyone for watching that video. As I get more information on this, because I'm sure people are going to come to me with some more information here as we kind of move on, I'll let you know. But from what I understand right now, this is another one that everybody can say we're crazy. We weren't crazy. Ducati definitely has a 450 in the works. Ducati's definitely trying to come race Supercross, and yeah, that's a thing. So that is your TLR tinfoil hat / your web to Ducati update. That we weren't far off, and there's some extra info for you. So moving on, Holster Co. Reload Rant here. Brought to you by our friends at Holster Co. Make sure to check them out for all your things that go boom, boom, bang, bang, all that kind of good stuff. So this rant is, for anybody who hasn't seen, Daniel Blair is stepping away from TV. And my rant here is at the TV companies themselves, NBC, Feld, whatever. Whoever's in charge of the TV stuff there, which I know has a lot to do with NBC, but maybe something to do with Feld too. I'm upset that Daniel Blair is essentially getting pushed out and bullied out of TV spot, okay? When Daniel Blair's on TV, I've seen some stuff. The ratings are up, okay? Viewership's up. People like Daniel Blair. He's relatable. He's knowledgeable. He does very, very well on the broadcast. Him and Ricky do well together. However, again, I've heard through the grapevine, because I have different sources everywhere, he's basically getting bullied out of TV. He's not getting any promotions. He's not getting moved around to where he needs to be. He's not getting option. Instead, we're going to get Lee Diffie. Okay, whatever. Like, a lot of people, there are people that hate him. I'm kind of like, whatever. It's just, I don't understand. If your ratings go up when this guy's on, why not put him on? It doesn't make any sense to me. He is a wonderful, wonderful play-by-play guy. So I just don't understand how you can let someone who makes your ratings go up leave. He should be there. It should be him and someone else in the booth. Whether that's Ricky, they seem to play well off each other. I've heard there's a little bit of animosity between Ricky and DB, but that's, who knows for sure. I haven't personally talked to either one of them to know that, but I've heard stories that there are. It's just why? Why can we not keep him around? Why can we not give him the job? Okay, Lee Diffie has plenty of announcer jobs everywhere else. No offense, but it can't take that much money to keep Daniel Blair in that spot. Like, there's no way it takes that much money. So, I don't know. I'm upset that we're not going to get to see him. Hopefully he's still doing Race Day Live, but from what I understand, like, he's stepping away. Like, he's not doing Race Day Live. He's not doing any of it. So that really bums me out, because now Race Day Live is going to be just a joke again. So yeah, I don't know. Look, write to NBC, write to Feld, write to MX Sports, and tell them we want Daniel Blair, because that guy is a legend as far as the announcing game goes. He's so good at it. I want to see him there. So, one more thing here. One more thing. Hep, I want to just touch on Hep Suzuki right now, okay? The Hep Motorsports Group or whatever, they are the moto team that we need, okay? They're the type of moto team that all of these teams should be, because they, in my opinion, resemble all these other motorsports teams like to a T, and it's awesome. They're racing Feld Supercross, Outdoors, and World Supercross. All separate teams, all separate guys. I mean, right now they've got like Freddie Noren, Chiz riding Outdoors, Marshall Welton, like all sorts of people. They had a completely different roster for Supercross. They have a completely different roster for World Supercross. if you look at the other major motorsports, and I know this because I was watching, say, what was I watching today? Oh, the Indy 500, okay? So you've got like Rick Ware Racing, okay? Rick Ware has a World Supercross team. He's got an NHRA team. He's got an IndyCar team. He's got NASCAR team. He's a motorsports guy. If it's got a motor, wants to race. We don't have that here. We've got the manufacturers doing whatever. Like they have their teams and that's it. They only go and they race Supercross and Motocross and that's it. And then they have completely separate teams for the other stuff. And then we've got our other privateer teams like MCR and that kind of stuff, and they only race, say, West Coast Supercross or whatever. So it's like, why can we not have more teams like Hemp that just race it all? And maybe Hemp will branch out from that too. Maybe they'll get an off-road team going, or maybe they'll get I don't know, a flat track team going, or a GNCC team or something. Why can't we have groups that have all of these that or at least that race all of these different aspects? Why can't we have a team that does arena cross and supercross and motocross and world supercross and MXGP? Why can't we have that? Why does it have to be? I know part of it is economics and it doesn't really work that way, but I don't know, man. I'm just confused. I give it up to Hep. I like what they're doing. I like what I'm seeing from them and trying to do all this. To me, it's excellent. So, this is basically what I like. As far I like where Hep's going here of just we're gonna race it all. That's all there is. So, Club's kind of doing the same thing. So we'll see how that goes. But like I said, I really like what Hep's doing. Moving on to the 250 race recap here, brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. And look, I'm just going to say one word as far as the 250 class goes here, because I wrote this on my notes really big yesterday watching the second moto. Parity. That's what we're going to see all summer in the 250 class is parity. The drastic difference between who was up front the first moto versus who was up front the second moto was absolutely nuts. So let's just start running this down here. So Hunter Lawrence goes 3-1 for first overall. Second moto, he whole shots, runs away. That's kind of what I expected to see out of Hunter Lawrence. That first moto, super weird. Bad start, couldn't get going. Him and Justin Cooper were just kind of sitting back there like 8th, 9th, like not really doing anything the first half of the moto. And then he kind of started to find his flow and he moved forward to third. But that was a very weird moto for Hunter, in my opinion. I expected to see more of this of what the second moto was, but I'm not sure if we're going to see that or if we're just going to see the same kind of thing where it's like maybe one really good one kind of so-so one. This is the first round, so I'm not trying to draw too many conclusions here, and we're going to get to some major not drawing conclusions here as we move on to second place. So Hayden Deegan goes 6-2 for second overall, and let's just stop right here because here's what I'm going to get. I've already got 100 comments about our Hayden Deegan preview video there from the last show where I said, it'll probably be 9th to 12th, okay? You got a kid who's hungry. He's got grit. He's a really good rider. He's a rookie. He ran 2 races last year. He went like 11 and 10th overall in the 2 races last year, okay? Very respectable as far as a amateur kid coming in. Respectable, okay? This one was impressive. I will say that. This was an impressive ride, especially that second moto where he got second. Like, did not see that coming, didn't have it on my bingo card. If he'd got like 4th or something, I'd have been like, okay, cool, that's good. Like, that's a good start there for him. To go 6-2, had a tip over that first moto, so that kind of cost him. He was kind of moving forward there for a while, but that was a really good race. Now, I'm not jumping off the cliff here with all the we need to come up with a name for you guys, all the Deegan nut huggers, because you guys are out there. Trust me, I've seen all of your comments about how I'm eating crow and all this stuff. We said in that video, for those of you who don't do anything but read the title and make a comment, because I know you're out there, there's plenty of you. In fact, the one guy commented back of like, man, you're not good at listening, because he thought I was comparing myself to Hayden Deegan. Let's just get this straight. Hayden Deegan could have no legs and 1 arm and ride a dirt bike better than me. Period. End of discussion. Not even going to try that, okay? I'm sitting here as a fan, bench racing about these guys, okay? Much like you sit on your tailgate of your truck at the track and talk to you, oh, did you see the race? Oh, yeah, so-and-so sucks, so-and-so's so good. We're doing the same thing here. I just recorded and put it out there for you guys to, bench race back and forth. I will say 100% that me and Justin both sat here and said it would not surprise us if he got on the box at some point. Did I think it was going to come in the first round? No. This is a surprise that's at the first round, but it's not that big of a surprise they did it or that it would happen this year. Do I think this is going to happen all year? I don't know. Okay? I'm just going to say I don't know. And you're all going to say, "Oh, you're a hater," all this stuff. Look, we have seen guys come out. We've seen guys win the first round. RJ Hampshire won the first moto and got 11th the second moto. So let's just tone it down, okay? This was a great ride for him. I think he's going to be good. He definitely has stepped his speed game up, so that's improved. So, yeah, he's probably going to be a top 10 guy most of the summer. No problem. His starts were really good yesterday. It was great. But do I see him being on the podium every single week? No. And that's with any of these guys. There's weeks that I don't think Hunter's going to be on the podium, to be really honest with you. There's going to be a lot of parity in this class. There's a lot of fast dudes. There's 21 factory bikes was what I heard the other day. That means at least, as long as everybody stays healthy, there's at least one guy per team that is not going to get points every single week. And on top of that, you still have guys like Forkner's not back, Hammaker's not here. So there's a couple other, I mean, by the time we get to the end of the season, if everybody stays healthy, you could have 25 factory guys, which means 5 dudes aren't going to get points. And there's going to be some really good guys. Like, we're going to go through this. There's some really good factory dudes outside the top 10 yesterday. So again, as far as Hayden Deegan goes, this was a great race for him. Super, super good. I'm super interested to see how the rest of the summer goes, but I'm still not going to sit here and call him a podium guy week in and week out. Maybe if it happens, cool. By halfway, if he's on the podium more rounds than not, great. Cool. We were way off on this. I don't see it yet, but again, like I said, I don't see any of these guys being on the podium every single week because there's some guys that I thought should have been on the podium yesterday that aren't. So good ride for Hayden going 6-2 for second. That was great. RJ Hampshire with the weirdest third place overall ever, like goes 111, did Hampshire things, 3 crashes that second moto. So I mean, what do you say? The guy's got grit. He's never going to short you on effort. That first moto was excellent. I mean, just battling with Joe and just outfoxing him, man, and just winning. So, really, really good. This next guy here, I do want to talk about the people that are hating on him, saying that he is shit. Okay, so Tom Bial goes 7-3 for 4th overall. He got better every single time he was on the track, and he openly said he didn't like that track. This was slightly underwhelming, especially the first moto, compared to what I thought we might see out of him. However, this is another one of those things. You can't win the title of the first race, but you can lose it. Well, he's 4th in points here now. Top 5 in points going out of the first round at a track you don't like, on a series you've never rode before, on a track you've basically never rode before. I think most of these guys outside the top 5 would take that. So, I mean, he literally beat a guy that a lot of people are calling for the title in Justin Cooper. So, it wasn't all out spectacular like we thought it was, where he might come in and just run away from everyone. But not a complete disaster either. So I want everybody to tone down the hate on him a little bit. I mean, I understand America and the GP riders aren't shit and that kind of stuff. Like I understand that to an extent. But I don't want to. I mean, coming out of there 4th, and I think as we go on, we're going to get some tracks where he is much, much better, and he's going to figure out the schedule throughout the day and how to work with it. And you might see him really start to shine here as we move through the season. So, would be interesting to see. I mean, I think him and Deegan are going to probably going to be way up there for rookies. Let's put it that way. So, Justin Cooper goes 5-4, and Justin Cooper did a lot of Justin Cooper things yesterday. So, for example, the first moto, I was really paying attention. Justin Cooper did not get a great start, and Justin Cooper spent a shit ton of time in 8th and 9th place. Like, there just wasn't any moving forward, which was interesting because this is something we've noticed with him, is when he doesn't get, like, say, a top 5 start and he's not right there with those guys, it's very tricky for him to get going and get moving and make stuff happen. So that is something we've talked about, if we think he needs to fix that. Otherwise, it's going to be a long year for him, man. He's not going to be able to do this. all year, where he gets these crappy starts and like cannot move. So he's going to have to figure that out. But again, 5'4", 5th overall. Title's not lost. It's not won, but it's not lost. So sixth place, Max Volan goes 2.9. First moto was awesome. Second moto goes down, not as good. But that first moto, flashes on flashes on flashes of brilliance there. Now, I will say with Max Volan here, and they brought this up on the broadcast, one thing to think about. We all talk about how shitty he is in Supercross, okay? Number one, the kid's still young. I think he's like 19. Like, he started when he was 16. He was very young. They pushed him in there. But outdoors, he's been healthy every year for all the outdoor races. Supercross, he's been hurt. Like year 2, he like broke his hip like the first or second race and didn't race all of Supercross. You know, maybe it was the first year. It was like the second race. He broke his hip in practice because I believe we were there. And then last year he did okay, but he still got hurt. And then this year it was better, but you know, still not great. But the percentage of races of Supercross seasons he's done compared to outdoors is drastically different, which is why I think he's drastically better. I'll be super interested to see when he gets off that KTM team, goes to Star, how that works. But I think he's only going to keep building here, and he will be on the box before the end of the year. I'm going to stamp that. Joe Schmoda goes 4.6 for 7th overall. He had a great first moto going there till he went down in those little roller section, the little wave section. He is one too that I think here a lack of racing has kind of cost him, so he's going to build as the season goes on. And again, he's one of those guys that's like, this is why I think there's going to be parity, because you're going to see Joe on the box too, because he's fast. He's really fast. But you'll see him on the box week in and week out here, I think, as we move forward. Guillaume Ferez goes 8.5 for 8th. I see him somewhere in this range most of the year here. We'll see if he improves at all. He's good. He comes from Europe, you know, whatever, but he's been just riding. Again, this is a lack of racing, in my opinion. He's been just riding down at the goat farm there. So not racing. He's doing outdoors this year, and then he'll jump into Supercross next year, from what I understand. So from my opinion, this will build and get better as he goes on, as he races. So Levi Kitchen, really weird day, like just crap starts, couldn't get anything going, and a hard-fought day to go 10.7 for 9th overall. Carson Mumford looked pretty good there on that PC Cowie. He is doing the whole series from what I understand, but that's so far up in the air because he wasn't riding for PC, then he was only doing some, then he's doing all of them, so I don't know. Carson Mumford's going to ride PC for a while here. He goes 11.8 for 10th, so that to me is a good finish for Mumphy there. Ryder D, he was running up front a lot, fades towards the end, but you know, rookie season here, so we won't harp on that too bad. He goes 9.13 for 11th. Chance Hymas goes 15.12 for 12th. Decent day for Chance. He was up front a little bit there, decent starts, and then just faded back. But I think you'll see more out of him as he just gets more reps under his belt too. Again, just a rookie, so we'll see. Jordan Smith, rough day at 13.14 for 13th. I have no idea. He was in the back, but he's another guy too. You know, when I talk about how I see parity and I don't see the podium being the same, Jordan Smith's another one that like he can rip a start and just run away. He's got that speed. He hasn't raced outdoors for years, so I think that might be part of it here, because 2018 was the last year he raced outdoors, so that's 5 years ago or so. But yeah, so again, there's a lot more names coming up here too. Jet Reynolds, actually surprised at the starts and running up front. That rate, I was like, wow, I can't believe Jet Reynolds is up there. I had my doubts about him, period, but actually made it through a race, goes 12.16 for 14th. We'll see if he improves as he goes throughout the year. To be honest, if he was a 12th to 16th place guy all year, it wouldn't surprise me, and to me, as long as he finishes all the races, that's all he needs to do. Michael Mosman, in what could be his last outdoor or his last professional racing here season as we go, goes 19.10 for 15th. Garrett Marchbank, 17.15 for 16th. Totally thought he was riding the 450. We talked about him on 450 in the previous show. Apparently he's riding 250, so whatever. Jeremy Martin gets credited with most passes on the day. He goes 16.19 for 17th, and again, he's another guy that can get into that podium mix easy. He rode really good yesterday because he got in nothing but trouble all day. He tipped over in the first corner of the first moto, tipped over the first corner of the second moto, tipped over in another corner of the second. Like, he was down twice the second moto. I mean, just coming from 39th, both motos, to get up in the top 20. That's really, really good. Ty Masterpool, 14:23 for 18. Watch out for him. Come Redbud. Caden Braswell riding that TLD goes 18:18 for 19th. Talon Hawkins goes 20:17 for 20th, so that was good. Jalik Swole does Jalik Swole things. Hole shots the first race, then crashes into the fence and hurts his arm and pulls off and basically DNFs and goes 40:20 for 21st. No idea what happened there. Let's keep scrolling here. I mean, you got Varese 22nd, Preston Kilroy 23rd, Dylan Schwartz 24th, Derek Kelly had a rough day. He was coming from the back all day in 25th. Hardy Munoz 26th. Let's see if there's anybody else. And then we kind of get into all the privateers there. So yeah, that basically is the 250. Like I said, you've got guys that are top 20 dudes here in Jalik Swole, Varese, Kilroy, Schwartz, Kelly, and Munoz. Our top 20 dudes, they are all outside the top 20. Let's see here. Jalik scored a point the second moto. That's it. So this is what I'm talking about with parity and all these dudes here. I mean, Jalik's won a national before, so you could see that again very, very easy. I'm doubtful on that one, but you could see that happen. So there's going to be parity. This class is going to be the class to watch all summer, I think, and I'm real excited for it. It's kind of a toss-up. They talked about it on the broadcast yesterday. There's a void there. Jet has been literally just dominating this class the last 2 years, and now he's gone. So there's a big void as to who's going to take over, and we'll just have to see. So that has been your 250 race recap there, brought to you by Adept Creative Co. And now we're going to move on. I recorded a segment, like I said, with our boy Isaac Gonzalez earlier. He is our West Coast contributor there. Make sure to follow him on Instagram at Heartkid44. He is presented by our friend by our buddy Isaac over at Isaac Nelson Designs, who does all of our different logo work for all our t-shirts and stuff. So make sure to check him out if you need any logos made. And that's basically it for the race recaps and stuff. And now here is that Isaac interview. All right. Now, as promised, brought to you by our friends over at Isaac Nelson Designs for all of your graphic design needs. We have our West Coast contributor who was at the race this weekend, Mr. Isaac Gonzalez. What's up, bro?
What up? What up, everybody?
Dude, so you had a super interesting weekend here because you actually somehow managed to get a press pass, mostly because you probably didn't use our name, which was fantastic. Great move. But, walk me through kind of this whole weekend, because you got to do the whole opening round press day thing there at the casino and the track. And then obviously you got to kind of go everywhere yesterday. So walk me through your weekend here, starting with press day on Thursday, and let's just work our way through this and talk about kind of what you saw, what you heard, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So first off, before I take you through the weekend, I want to thank, I doubt they will ever listen to this, but the small chance that they do, I want to thank Roy Jansen from MX Sports, the commissioner, I believe he is, and Davey. They are actually the ones who hooked me up with the press pass. If you guys don't know, I actually was able to do I was part of Make-A-Wish, the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Big shout out to them. And I was able to go to Millville. So I met everybody except for Davey at Millville last year. And dude, Roy Jansen is the coolest guy you ever meet. Like, he was telling me this weekend on Thursday that he said, our media guys was questioning me, can this kid actually do this? He's like, oh yeah, he could do it. So yeah, Thursday we went. I actually kind of took off work for this. So Thursday we went, and that press conference was really impressive. I don't know if you watched it, but I was super impressed with how big that was. It kind of did screw up a little bit for the one-on-one time, because we had lunch and one-on-one time mushed together, so some of the riders just ate and took off. So that was a bit of a bummer. So I didn't get to talk to everybody I wanted to, but I got to talk to a lot of people that I wanted to. But yeah, big shout out to MX Sports for putting that on and hooking me up with this press pass, man. So then we went to the track, and I actually got hooked up with a guy. His name's Jordan Post at random on Instagram. I was shadowing him on Thursday. He showed me all the hot spots, like where is good to take photos, where is not. Super cool dude. And Saturday got there and attended the safety meeting. There's a safety meeting that I had to go to. If I didn't attend the safety meeting, I would have not gotten that pass or the vest that they have you wear. So yeah, I was telling my dad this before I came on. I actually do believe I found exactly what I want to do in this life. That was so fun yesterday. Not one moment that I not have a smile on my face. I was so cool. It's so cool to be up close to the action. I feel like when you're behind the fences, you could kind of see what's going on, but when you're in the middle of the track, I was so invested in that battle with Jet and Chase. And by the way, it has to shock you a little bit that Jet went 1-1.
Not at all.
Not at all. Really?
0%.
Really?
0%.
You have to be a little shocked that Chase didn't get around in that second.
No, that went pretty much exactly how I saw it going. So I was more shocked, and we're recording this out of order here, but in my notes, I'm more shocked that Chase, how bad Chase struggled the first moto compared to the second. The second moto went exactly how I thought it was going to go. And you could have flip-flopped them, okay? And it still wouldn't have shocked me. You could have put Chase up front and Jet in second, hounding him like that the whole moto, and it wouldn't have shocked me. But that second moto is exactly what I think we're going to see the entire first half of the year. And then if Dylan stays healthy, I believe beyond that, you might see Dylan be able to start sticking his nose in it. But for basically most of the year, this is what you're going to... The same thing you saw with Tomac and Chase last year, where they just locked in together and took off. You're going to see that with Jet and with Chase. Now, the only thing is that you gotta wonder which one of them cracks first, okay? Because you're gonna see cracks with that much pressure, and I think you saw yesterday, like, Jet didn't really crack in that moto. Chase was trying everything. Chase had a weird day per se, but I'm a little more nervous that Chase will crack under pressure, as we've kind of seen that a bunch if he's getting hounded for 35 minutes by Jet. But yeah, no, man, that was exactly how I saw that going, was those two running away like that and Jet just being clean. I'll tell you what did surprise me. The most surprised I was all day was when Jet put 2 seconds on everybody in practice. That shocked, that raised my eyebrows, and I went, wow.
Impressive.
Dude, that was insane. On the last lap of practice too.
Yeah, and I have video of him on that lap. It's incredible. And Steve Mathis, who was sitting behind me in the media tent, he said, you can't even tell if the kid's on a fast lap or not. And yeah, there was so many times he came over the finish line. I'm like, is he on a fast lap or not? He's just that talented. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah, I had the same. I said the same thing with Des Nations. Like, when he rode Des Nations, he's battling with like the top GP guys there, obviously. And you can't even tell he's trying. He's just like so relaxed riding that bike that it's insane to see.
Yeah. But back to taking you guys through the weekend, because I feel like we went on a tangent.
That's okay. We do that. Go for it.
Yeah. So after everything was done, the podium celebrations were absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It's so wild down there because, you know, I'm not the tallest guy, and all the photographers were taller than me, so I felt like I was going to get trampled the whole time. But no, it was super fun yesterday. Like I said, I want to do this as much as I can. And Davey Coombs, I sent an email to Davey Coombs, just sending him some of my stuff. We said, we can't make no promises, but you could see this in Racer X if we get a good one.
That'd be cool.
A good one. Yeah, so that was my motivation yesterday. I was like, okay, I'm getting in Racer X. And if I get in Racer X, I'm buying like 5 copies and sending them out to everybody I know and say, hey, my photos in.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you actually had a vest. You were actually like media like that per se, because there are 2 different kinds of media. There's like we'll call it the Steve Mathis, the Wygant Media, where it's like you can be a lot of places, but you can't stand right next to the track during the race. And then there's the actual photographer stuff. So you were on the photography side there. Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. When you reached out about it, did you sign up for that? And you were like, hey, I want to do some photography stuff, or were you just like, oh, I'll just do whatever?
So I got my camera on Christmas and I knew about this stuff. I knew it would be a little bit harder with Supercross because they changed the rules a little bit ago.
Yeah.
If I remember. But I knew, I was talking Max Sanford. He's one of my buddies. I've seen him at Elsinore tons of times. I've sent you guys content on him. I was asking, like, which one's harder to get press pass for? And he said, don't even try it in Supercross. Just try it in outdoors. So, Roy Jansen is super cool. Like, super cool. Like, he's done so much for me. I can't thank the guy enough. And I just hit him up over email. I said, hey, is there anything I would have to do to be a photographer at one of the rounds? And he just said, nope, I just put your name on the list. So and then that was pretty much it. And honestly, when I got to the press conference, I had to check in as media, and they asked me, who are you affiliated with? And I froze for a second. And I couldn't play, Yeah. I felt like if I told you, if I told them, yeah, I'm with Moto Aftermath Show, there's a chance I might not be able to be in that press conference. So,
no, man, you're just a solo. You're just there.
I just said Roy put me up to this, and Roy's letting me do this, and that's about it. So, no, did you watch the post-race press conference at all?
No, I haven't watched. I haven't watched any of it. I didn't actually watch the press conference on Thursday either. I've been a little busy, man. Like I said, I broke my ankle a couple of weeks ago. So it takes me way longer to do literally everything now because I can't walk. I have to crutch everywhere and figure out how I'm carrying things either in a backpack or have someone carry it for me. So my days, like during the day, especially when I'm working, of just listening to stuff are also very limited too, because I have an employee I'm directing at this point, because he's used to part-time kind of easy task, and now he's full-time basically doing almost everything, but I have to coach him because he's not used to that. So so I haven't gotten a chance to listen to basically anything. So why was it interesting? Was there some cool stuff? Did Jet say, yeah, you guys can just expect this all summer, or what?
He didn't say that, but I have to say I got the last question of the press conference. I asked the question to both Jet and Chase.
Oh, you there?
Oh, did you lose me?
Yeah, we lost you. What was the question? He left us hanging there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just have to say, the last question of the very last question of the 450 press conference, you might recognize the voice and the name.
What'd you ask him?
Oh, I just asked him about how that battle was, like how tough it was for Jet to have Chase on him, pretty much because Chase was on him the whole moto. And I asked Chase how hard it was to navigate the lappers, stuff like that, and they gave me pretty good answers. Like, I was shocked.
Interesting. Yeah, I have to go listen to it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am disappointed. The one person you didn't talk to that I was really hoping for was a fucking Deegan interview, bro.
I thought about it. I even saw him out in the pits, and I thought about it.
Oh, totally should have.
Oh, I was thinking about it because Deegan fans aren't fans of us, so I thought it would be hilarious if I asked him some stuff, but I didn't get the chance to.
Dude, they're not shy at all. They fucking, since the race yesterday, my comments haven't stopped on my video saying that I thought he was going to be a 9 to 12 guy.
Yeah.
Oh, how's that crow taste? Oh, you're so stupid. Oh, man, yeah, really took him all of one race to be on the box, and on and on and on and on. So I think they'll like the video this week where I, don't quite bow down to his feet still. It'll be good for him.
So, I got to ask you about this.
Yeah.
A 111 for RJ Hampshire, 3rd overall. What the hell?
I don't know.
I mean, it was a typical RJ day.
Yeah.
But how is a 111 3rd overall in this class?
I had it written down in my notes for the show here for the 250 class from the race yesterday. This is going to be a summer of parody because that 250 class was just all over the map, man. I'm telling you, it was wild. Like, I mean, the first moto, let's face it, you had Swole hole shots and then crashes out with a DNF. Okay, cool. That's typical of Swole. You have RJ literally just going Mach 10 and battling with Shimoda the whole time till Shimoda hits the deck. Okay, that's weird. And then RJ gets the win. Hunter and Jay Coop are buried on the start. They can't, like, Hunter, for the first moto to me was super weird because, like, he couldn't seem to get going. And then he finally did and got to, what was it, 3rd, I think, that first moto?
3-1.
Yeah, so he got to 3rd. And then the second moto was more what I thought we were going to see out of Hunter. But then at the same time, I'm like, his consistency outdoors has not been great. And he's been known to choke with that red plate outdoors. So I'll be interested to see how next weekend goes. You know, I mean, it was just so all over the board for both motos yesterday. I mean, Justin Cooper, I had a note of in like the first moto, like this is exactly what Justin on the show here has talked about with Justin Cooper is if he gets a start that's outside the top 5, like he can't go to the front for some reason. He just buries himself and like doesn't ever make moves. And he didn't. I mean, that first moto, he like halfway through, he was still in 8th place. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? So, yeah, I don't know, man. And then you got to look at it too. You move farther back, you go outside the top 10. You've got Guillaume Ferez. You've got Jordan Smith. You've got Levi Kitchen. I mean, dude, the names go on and on. Like the crazy thing is, I heard this. Maybe it was like Thursday or something on one of Steve's shows. There's like 21 or 22 factory guys in the 250 class, which means some factory dude isn't getting points each weekend here as long as they're all still there, which is crazy to think about. So, I don't know. And then you have J-Mart, like, he just had bad luck yesterday. I mean, the first moto, he's down twice and comes from like 39th. Second moto, same thing, gets stacked up in like corner 2. And it's coming from the back. I mean, it's just wild because, like, he should have been up there. He was on my fantasy team. He should have been way up there. And, of course, he's just coming from the back trying to get in the top 20. So, I mean, then you have guys like, too, like, not even guys you think of, like Derek Kelly, who is a decent outdoor guy, like easy top 20. And, again, on my fantasy team, that's why I really was paying attention to him yesterday. But, like, he's literally battling for his life for 24th place. Like, what?
But, like, he was in that pile up in the second moto that got Martin and Voland. And I saw him down too.
Yeah. Well, and then like, how about Voland flying that first moto and gets a podium?
Dude, I thought he was gonna win that for a second.
Dude, I mean, just crazy fast that first moto. Then the second moto gets stacked up, and yep, there it is, trying to come from the back. So I don't know, man. The 250 class, we're just gonna see, I think, parity all year long. Like you could have Levi Kitchen, like whatever he did this weekend, because I haven't even looked at the full results yet. You could have Levi Kitchen go 15-15 this weekend and go 1-1 next weekend. So it's just going to be whoever can be the most consistent out of these guys is going to win this title. But I do agree with what like Weege and them were saying on the broadcast, where there's like a vacuum here because there isn't really a title defender going on. Like, you have J-Mart, but he won a title like 10 fucking years ago. So,
14 and 15.
Yeah, something like, was it 13, 14, 14, 15? Something like that. But yeah.
It was 14, 15.
Okay.
Sorry, I got a good kind of stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's like there's this huge vacuum of like there isn't really a champion in this class. So I don't know. We'll see, man. That class is going to be super interesting, and then the 450s, you're going to see basically what you saw yesterday. The thing to watch is going to be Jet and Chase battling.
Hey, I don't mean to hype up the Deegan fans here, but Hayden can win this on consistency.
Oh boy, here we go.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
It's been one race, okay? Let's tone it
Yeah,
down.
it was one race. It was the hometown race too. So
Yes. He knows that track well, whether he's been riding there or not. He spun thousands of laps there as a kid. So, like, and I know it's not exactly the same and the prep's a little different, but whatever, man. Look, let's just keep moving. Let's get to, let's get to High Point. Let's get to Redbud. Let's get to Millville. Let's see how this goes. It was impressive, okay?
it was. I was shocked. I was shocked.
I was too. He gave me a shout out on the podium, said, this one's for all the haters here. I was like, thank you. I really appreciate that. But yeah, let's just tone it down there, okay? Until we get to mid to late season, he's still doing this, being on the box and stuff. Then I'll say the same thing we said about Supercross. We might have underestimated this a little bit.
And I'd say the same thing about Jet. I mean, he's undefeated at this track, man. So
yeah, yeah.
Hey, let's see what happens when we go to say Unadilla and he gets pressured, which he got pressured. Actually, now that I think about it, he got pressured quite a bit that second moto and held it together. But and it's a track. He's good at this track.
Yeah, yeah. No, that definitely plays a part. That's why, I'm not super hyped on the Jet thing because, but at the same time, I saw what he did at Designations last year. So I've seen him ride not Paula on a 450, and it was impressive. So, I mean, dude, the it's just the awareness he has to focus on everything all at once while he's going Mach 10 without looking like it. I mean, they made the comment on the broadcast. Yeah, he's riding like 70% right now. It's insane. I mean, he's pointing. I don't know if you saw the broadcast or if anybody said anything to you. He literally goes by the pit board, the mechanics area, almost eats it, comes around the other way, and is pointing at the mechanic to move down farther. No one does that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard him say that on the podium or something.
Yeah, no one does that. He literally was pointing like, yo, move farther that way because I almost just ate shit trying to look at that pit board. No one does that. Chase is not doing that in the middle of a moto. So, yeah, I mean, that kid is next level, man. Next level.
But, what was I going to say? Sorry, I completely blanked on whatever I was going to say. But,
Did you hang out for a while? What's it like? Okay, because I don't know this because I'm not allowed in there. What's it like in the media tent after the race? Like, because they have like a media or a corral now, don't they? Where like all the riders come in and you can talk to them or whatever. So you just walk around. You're just like, hey, what's up? Or how's that work? Is there like a line?
No, there's not really a line. You just like, I had to wait quite a bit for the riders because they were getting interviewed by more important people than us, I'd say, like Kellen Brower and Racer X and Vital MX. So like, yeah, I would just say, hey, Michael, you want to do a little interview real quick? And he'd say, oh yeah, sure. And we did it. So that's how it works. It's the first round, everybody's trying to get situated. So it wasn't, it's a little messy in there, but like you can get your interviews and get out, and not every single rider comes to that thing. Like the top 3 guys literally just came to the press conference and left.
Yeah.
So, and the press conference, so the media tent after, you really do have to be quiet in there because of the press conference going on. But the media tent in between sessions, it's crazy. You got guys, everybody's got their laptop. Everybody's working essentially, except for me, which just loaded my photos into my phone and just uploaded stuff and to my Instagram and my Twitter. So, and sent you guys stuff. It was really hard. I have to admit, it was really hard getting vertical videos because I just wanted to, I wanted to use my camera and see what I could do, but I made sure I got him. So
yeah, no, especially you did great, man. You did great.
The podium stuff that I got with the champagne bottles, I feel like that's going to go really well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was good, man. No, and if you were there to take pictures with your camera or whatever, and that's how you got the pass, that is definitely what you should have focused on. Which, if that's what you did, that's great. So, no, man, it was good. It was good. So, any other rounds this year? Going to Hangtown next weekend?
So my dad was checking transponders yesterday, and they asked him to go this weekend. So we'll see.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, it'll be a good season. It'll be a great. What'd you think of Tom Vial?
He was underwhelming to me. He got better as the day went on, but he was underwhelming. I thought he'd be a little bit better, but I heard he didn't like that track at all either. So that's a thing too.
Okay. I not a criticism. Everybody calls people everything. But the press announcers at the race were calling him Tommy Vial. I've never heard that. Have you ever heard that? Somebody call him Tommy Vial?
No, but that sounds like, God, who is it that does that? You're talking the actual track announcers from MX Sports, right? Yeah. God, I'm trying to think of his name too. He's a nice guy. I've talked to him before. But yeah, he does that. He will spit out names, and you'll just be like, that is not his name. But he's just trying to loop stuff together and hype it up. So like I understand what he's doing for his profession there, but at the same time, I'm just like shaking my head, going, no, that's not his name. It's not his name.
He's doing the thing too. He's doing the same thing. But man, it was super fun yesterday. Like I said, doubt they'll ever listen to this, but the small chance they do. Thank you, Davey and Roy and Sean Brennan. He was wearing a Super Motocross hat, and I asked him, "Hey, where can I get one?" He's like, "We'll work on one for you." So hopefully, I can get a Super Motocross hat from him. I don't think. I mean, the guy's got so much going on, you know.
Yeah. You know what I was most impressed with? The video you sent me of AC on Thursday. He was like, "You know what, Isaac? Like, actually used your name," and I was just like, "Wow."
Yeah, I was shocked.
That's impressive. But you've met him quite a few times, haven't you, at the track and stuff? Because you have like his jersey and everything, don't you?
Yeah, he gave me the jersey right off his back that one day I went.
Yep.
So he knows me. And actually, do you know who Kenny Day is of Fox?
Yeah. I know who he is. Yep.
So I ran into him yesterday, and I said, "Hey, I got some photos of Adam. Can I send them to you?" And I just got a text right before we went live here, and he sent them to Adam. So, oh, by the way, did you by a chance see Chase Sexton's Instagram?
No.
Like his about qualifying or whatever?
I don't think so.
So I uploaded some photos just to hype up the race, like, oh, it's time to go racing and stuff. And I used a photo of Chase, and then like 10 minutes later, I went on Instagram and I saw it. I think he used one of my photos.
That's
in
cool.
His little montage. I'm pretty sure it is. So, yeah.
That's
and
cool.
His agent follows me on Instagram, so I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Who's his agent?
Still, Chris Onstadt, I believe is his name.
Okay. Interesting. Hear any good scuttlebutt in the pits yesterday? Anything good? Anybody leaving a team that we don't know about yet?
I don't know, man. I just, after the race, I think it was after the press conference. Oh, no, it was when I got back to the media tent, I saw Chase Sexton just fooling around with the KTM guys. Well, just talking. I think that is a thing.
Oh, yeah, that's like the worst kept secret at this point. So
yeah.
that is basically confirmed without being confirmed. So, yeah, we'll see there. We'll see. That was kind of like the Webb going to KTM thing, like just the most terrible secret ever. Yeah.
Question for you, because I got to be honest, I haven't watched the broadcast yet. I'll probably do that tonight or something, or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who was when they did the podium interviews? Who was the crowd louder for? Aaron Plessinger, Jet Lawrence, or Hayden Deegan?
Ooh, good question.
I think it. Being down there, I think it was Deegan.
I have to agree. I think it was him too. The Jet one was pretty close. Plessinger's kind of got screwed up because they interviewed him with Webb. Just because it was so quick trying to get, because the TV broadcast was ending. But yeah, I have to say it's a toss up pretty much between Jet or Deegan, but man, it was probably Deegan. It is amazing to me how much more play we get with Deegan content than Jet. So he is just, like I said, if I'm ever out again like we were this year in Indy and I see him at dinner, I'm buying that guy's dinner because I have made so much money off that guy. Like I really like, everybody thinks I'm a hater, but it's like I have nothing but respect for what Brian and Hayden and the whole rest of the family have done as far as the social media game goes and everything. And it's not like, the funny thing is, like, it's not hating on him. I had a guy comment the other day about, like, what have you two blokes ever done, blah, 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 whatever. And I was just like, dude, I'm not comparing myself to him, okay? My job here is to comment on the riders. Rider to rider, pro to pro. Not Hayden Deegan to me. Hayden Deegan could have 2 broken legs and a broken arm and outride me on a 250F, okay? Like no questions asked. He's got more skills than me with 3 limbs missing, okay? It's literally just like, hey, compared to these other guys here, what is it like? You know, and on top of that, as I keep telling people, it's like this podcast was always created, you know, by fans for fans, essentially. We're doing nothing but bench racing, just like everyone does every single weekend about these guys. You know, I hate Hunter Lawrence, he's a douche, you know, and there goes a soundbite for everybody to pull out of there, you know, or I don't like Cooper Webb, he's an asshole, you know, and Webb sucks at riding and all this stuff. Just it's you and your buddies at the tailgate at the track talking about the race. Like that's what it is. And these guys on YouTube take this shit so seriously and don't listen to it. In fact, that guy that said like, oh, what have you two ever done? I was like, man, somebody's not good at listening, because like I haven't been making this abundantly clear the last few weeks about like what this show is about and how we're trying to do it and everything like that. And like if that's what your thought is that like we're downing this kid because I think I can, I'm not saying I can ride better than him. I cased a finish line jump on a supercross track. Okay. Like I'm not good. All right. But like, come on, man, let's just get serious here. So anyway, yeah, they are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I don't know if you've seen too, I think you did. Maybe you sent me something. The whole Webb going to Ducati thing blew up.
I heard.
Oh, you cut out.
I'm sorry. I heard about something like that. I saw the thumbnail on YouTube from our friend Steve Mathis about that, but I didn't watch the video. I don't watch Pulp MX. That's too long for me.
Yeah, dude, it's funny because I just laugh because we started that entire thing. Because what happened was, I think it was back on show 233. Me and Coach Rob were doing the show. I was doing a solo show, so I had Coach on, and Coach started talking about it, and I'm like, have you heard anything about this? He's like, well, I hear that they're going after Webb, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And so I just cut that video a couple of weeks ago. So the show had been out for probably a month. I cut this video, I put it up, and it did a couple thousand views the first few days. I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, you know, it's no surprise. A little clickbait there, somewhat, you know, like it's what we're talking about, but is he really going to Ducati? I don't know. That's not, you know, that's something that's just in the, you know, it's in the atmosphere talking about it. And then where it really blew up was I hit up Jace from Gypsy Tales, and I was like, hey, what have you heard about Webb going to Ducati? And he's like, well, I haven't heard anything. What have you heard? And I'm like, well, Coach Rob said this. And then at the Salt Lake City round of Supercross, for his Supercross companion, he starts talking about, well, I heard Coach Rob say that Webb might be going to Ducati. And then, of course, they start talking about Ducati coming in. And, dude, then it was just off to the race. Like, to the point that I had buddies this week sending me articles that different online publications were writing about this week. Wow. And then, of course, you see Pulp has the video go up talking kind of about some of that stuff. Jace put up a video where he was talking about it there in the Supercross companion. Like, all of a sudden it starts popping off everywhere, and then our video is just like through the roof. And like the biggest video as far as like the actual show itself we have. In fact, it's like the biggest video on the channel outside of a couple of different shorts that got a whole bunch of views at this point, because I think it's up to like 60,000 or something.
You're cutting out.
Oh, can you hear me? Oh crap! Oh crap! Hold on, my Wi-Fi went out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you just fine now.
Okay, yeah, the Wi-Fi went out, so come back here in a second. There we go. Now we're back on Wi-Fi. So yeah, so it's dude, it's crazy that kind of made the rounds there. And like I said, I laugh because it just all started through a small conversation me and Coach had, and I'm just like, huh, okay, well, that was interesting.
Yep. Hey, question. What do you think? How do you think that race? How do you think the 450s would have been yesterday had Eli been there?
I mean, you got to think he's right. You got to think he's running with Chase and Jet. You got to think it's those three running away.
But does he beat them? That's
No idea.
The question.
No idea.
It is a. He's not here though.
Yeah, that's the saddest part of this whole thing is we don't get to see, because we kind of know what him and Chase are like, even though obviously Chase is better, and I'm sure Eli would have been slightly better. But then you got to throw in the Jet factor. So, and like I said, it's just something that we probably will never know, to be honest with you, because I don't think he's coming back. Because what I heard here, and we'll call this grapevine, through the grapevine, that's probably true, is that I don't want to say Davey personally, but I heard MX Sports was paying him upwards of $1 million to race this series.
I heard that.
Yep. So
I gotta be honest. Everything news wise, I hear on this show, man. Like, I hate to suck up, but like I've been watching this show for since freshman year of high school, and I remember. So I was in a video production class, and we had big computers in that class, right?
Yeah.
I would like, whenever the show would be uploaded, I'd like pull it up, listen to it while I'm working, and sorry, I'm just sucking up to you now, but like that's, and like I've gone out of my way to listen to this show, man. It's been a big part of my life, and I appreciate everything you do. Even for me, man, like sending me these shirts, it's crazy, and everybody doesn't have to agree with what we say here, but it's a way to grow, and I so want to see this show. I let's just say I want to say who I'm affiliated with and not get kicked out. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Well, let's just say this, man. I've told you, we've had conversations here, obviously not. First off, I appreciate you being with us since basically the beginning, because I remember back in the day of you commenting on the show and stuff like that when we first started and just being like, who is this kid? And then obviously through the years, we started talking, we've grown somewhat of a friendship here, long distance friendship, never face-to-face friendship, but an online friendship here nonetheless. And now with you being able to, with you being in the location you are, which is California, which, no offense, I don't want to go to California right now because the place is beautiful. I'll give you that. But like the politics out there just drive me crazy, and I just can't do it right now. So
I have to say some of the shit you say on this show, I'm starting to see it. Now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to see some of it. So.
Yep, you'll understand as you get older, man. But yeah, so like having you out there is great because you can go to these places because you're local, get us this content, help us out in that way, and it's fantastic. On top of you pushing us through all your different socials and stuff, it's a big help. And we appreciate it more than you know. So and it's cool, man. The kind words they do touch me, man. I appreciate it a lot because we're just some dumb motocrossers who sit in my pole barn and record this stuff every week. So it's cool to have people like you that like are really, really into it. So
and I'm sure he'll listen to this, Justin. I was really sad when I heard that it was going to be just me and Travis. Dude, you gotta get me on a show with Justin because me and him will just go back and forth about everything. I was so sad when I heard he wasn't going to be here.
Yeah, no, look, I can't really force these guys too much because
I don't.
we're
Yeah.
kind of an at-will employment here. That's kind of like by the grace of God that they show up and do the show. But I mean, if you go to Hangtown next week, we'll have you back on or whatever, or or we can have you on later this summer too or something. We'll see. Or I guess too, have you thought about going to the LA Coliseum round at the end of the year?
That's unless I get like a media pass or something where I can get in for free, I'm not gonna pay to go all the way to LA. I've heard shit about that stadium, and I don't want to sit in those stands, man. And it's cool because it's a historic place.
Yeah.
But other than not, like, there's parts of LA that are really cool, but then there's parts of LA that's like, you drive down the wrong street. And there's a story of my parents driving down the wrong street, almost getting shot. So, I mean,
yeah, no, I hear you,
yeah.
man. It's not great. I've been to LA once. I was not impressed. Let's put it that way. So,
and to the people who are from LA who somehow listen to the show, I am not talking crap. You people, even though you want to deny it, you know it's true. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's an interesting city there. So, and I agree with you. Like, the historic fact on the LA Coliseum is really cool, but outside of that, like, actually going there, it's like, ooh, it's kind of like up here. Like, we are about 2 hours from the Chicago track there, and we're gonna go.
Oh yeah.
But, it's not a good part of. It's not a good part of Illinois. It's actually outside of Chicago in a place called Juliet, and it's not great. So like our plan is to rent a rental car and drive there is basically our plan, just so that if it does get stolen for some reason, it's not mine. I don't care. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, I wish we could have some better spots for races. So like, even Detroit's not that bad. Like, I'm a huge fan of Detroit, but Detroit's not that bad to go to and go to the stadium and stuff. So it's we need some better places here. That's what we need. So
and then I mean, this would cause a tangent, but Oakland, I'm sure that's not great.
Oh, no. That place is terrible. But I heard they're going somewhere else. So
that'll be good. I heard. So remember when maybe you were watching it. I was kind of watching it at the time. Remember when we were in San Francisco where the Giants play?
Yeah.
So I heard rumblings about going back there, but apparently, according to Jason Thomas, he said that wherever they had the pits, there's like a condo or something built there, so that's out of the question. Which, that's a nice place too. I think I said this on the show I was on earlier. I don't like these downtown stadiums because it's terrible for the pit party and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Detroit, I've heard. Was there even a pit party in Detroit this year?
No. So Detroit sucks because so the factory rigs are backed into like some really small parking lots right next to the stadium, and then all the privateer rigs are right outside of a parking garage right across the street, and then all the privateers are pitted in like a coat closet underneath the stadium. Like, Detroit's terrible for that kind of stuff. So I've heard a couple different things for a couple different stadiums up there in Northern California, because they do like that market, and I think they get a decent turnout. But I have heard that Oakland is probably going off the market here soon. Sorry, I'm going. And then I did hear too that there is a list already for this coming season, which I think is going to be announced soon. I do think they're going to Kansas City, though. I think it's the new one.
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that would be cool. I might have to go to that one, because Kansas isn't bad. Went there, like I said, see Kev, and I didn't mind it. No. I mean, it's Middle America, man, so it's just like fields everywhere, and then all of a sudden, boom, here's a city, and then fields everywhere again. So,
yeah,
but yeah, I might go to that one.
I hope we go to where SoFi, where the Rams and the Chargers play, because Monster Jam was there this year, and
Oh, was it?
yeah, Monster Jam was there earlier this year, and I think if Feld can get Monster Jam in there, they could probably get Supercross in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's because
I hope so.
that's the new one that's in downtown LA, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not downtown LA. So little stadium facts here, because I know this kind of stuff. So that one, it's actually right next to LAX. So they had to like build it kind of underground, like because like you got planes flying in, you can't have a stadium in the way. So it's kind of underground a little bit. Something like, I probably make no sense right now, but yeah. So it's like right next to LAX.
Interesting. Well, that would be cool. I'll tell you. I'll tell you where I'm sad we don't go anymore, because I just found this out, is Toronto. So
yeah.
that Toronto stadium, they actually have a hotel built essentially in the outfield where you open your door, you open your window, and you have a balcony that looks out over the field. I'm like, can you imagine going to a Supercross, staying in there? And I'm sure there's people that have, and if y'all have, please reach out, because I'd love to hear the stories about this. Like, you just staying in your room, like opening the balcony, just watching the race. Like the coolest shit ever. Like, you could watch them build the track, tear the track down, all of that stuff. Like, dude, it would be so fucking sweet. I would go all week just to see that, you know? Well, I wouldn't now, because I'm not going to Canada either for other political reasons. But I'm like, dude, that would be cool as shit to see. So yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see here. I wonder if we're going back to St. Louis next year too, because it's the year for St. Louis. So
yeah. I have to, about that Toronto hotel thing, I have heard stories of people getting it on, and people could see that.
Yes. Yep.
Older viewers are talking about.
Yep. I've heard that too, man. Sounds awesome to me.
Yeah. But,
all right, man. Anything else about the race here you want to talk about?
There's so much, man. It's fun, man. I truly believe if I can get some stuff figured out with other things in life, I do believe I could do this, you know. And I got so, like, I had people, like a guy from Dunlop stop me and say he follows me on Instagram. The Honda crew chief follows me on it. There's like so much people.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, do you want to check out some of the stuff I've done? We talked about it a little bit on the last time I was on here. Some of the things I've been through. Just go Heartkid44 on Instagram and go follow my very controversial Twitter. I'm very, I don't know. Are you on Twitter a lot?
No, I'm like never on Twitter, to be honest with you. Cole handles that side of things for us. So I thought about doing it yesterday during the race, like tweeting, but then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm out.
Yeah. Well, Denny Stevenson gives me a lot of crap on there about some of the things I say, and it's kind of fun.
Yes.
But I was texting Cole the other day. He was not too far from where I was, but because he's going to come out here a lot now, right? Because of his job.
No, right? I don't think he'll be out there a lot. He's just been out there a couple times for training. I think this one was they were dropping some new bike for him to be out there. So no, I don't know that he'll be out there a lot, but he'll be out there from time to time because of working for Kawasaki at this point. So
yeah. But where he wasn't too far from me. So if he comes out, just let him know to hit me up and we can finally meet. So.
All right, man. Will do. Will do.
Yeah.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for dragging out, man.
You're good. You're good. Well, thank you for coming on. Much appreciated. Thank you for everything you do there with all the content and stuff you sent us from this weekend. It was great. Mm-hmm. And let me know if you're going to Hangtown or something this week here, and we'll figure something out for that.
All right. Sorry for dragging this out, man. I just love being on the show.
No, you're good, man. We're just chatting, bro. We're just chatting. That's all there is to it. We're good. This is what we do. So we go off on tangents and we chat, and then I start yelling about things, and next thing you know, we're canceled. It's fine. It's no big deal. So
yeah. Hey, Justin, I know you got stuff going on, but I expect you to be on the show next time I'm on. All right.
I'm gonna let him know as soon as I get off here. So,
All right.
All
Thanks, Travis.
Yep. Thanks, buddy. Have a good one. We'll talk this week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Isaac Gonzalez, everybody, our West Coast contributor there. Great kid. Again, make sure to go check him out on Instagram at Heartkid44. Heart transplant survivor here. And, yeah, making the most of every opportunity he's got. Super cool what MX Sports did for him through Make-A-Wish last year and now just through his own doing here. And, yeah, hopefully this continues because he gets us some good content. All this stuff you've seen, kind of preseason and press day and all that kind of content that we've been putting out, all on him. And it'll only get better. And let me just take a moment here at the end here to kind of say this. If you guys want to comment negative stuff towards me, or even Justin, that's fine. We don't give a shit. You can go fuck yourselves. All right. To be really honest with you, we really don't care about you. Anybody else that's commenting, regarding like Isaac or something, you can really go fuck yourselves. Okay. And I'm sure I'm getting canceled for this right now, but, there was an incident today, and I say incident, it was a comment basically saying that, one of the videos he sent us, in the press corral, it was terrible. The mood was wrong. The lighting was wrong. The camera angle, all of this stuff. Like, shut up. I don't care. Okay. You want to do better? You want to do content for us and send it to us because it's so great? Cool. Please do. Like, we're more than open basically to anybody out there, whether it's local racing, pro racing stuff, whatever. We're very, very open to you guys sending us footage, especially vertical. We love vertical. We love posting shorts and reels and all that kind of stuff. Helps us grow tremendously in this current market here. But dude, if you got a negative comment, like outside of an opinion that I'm giving on Deegan, because that's where most of the bad comments come from. But if you've got it on like what we're doing as far as like how our content looks or anything like that, like I don't care. Okay. We're not a professional content creator. We are not anything like that. We're some dudes that like dirt bikes, and I'm like, man, this is cool. We're going to make some content, okay? So you just piss off with yourself and your things and your negative comments towards the lighting wasn't right or the angle wasn't right or the audio wasn't right or any of that stuff. I don't care, all right? So just piss off. Holster Co. Reload Rant. Final one of the night. So, all right. So this has been show 239. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to our sponsors there, TLR Coatings, Complete Racing Solutions, Holster Co, Edgewood Farms, Adept Creative Co, Isaac Nelson Designs. Thank you to all of them for supporting us. This has been our round one, Fox Raceway, Polo, whatever you want to call it, wrap up here from motocross. We got 10 more of these things to go. We'll see you all on the next one.